Good morning, it is chilly. Winter is approaching, and it is time to gather firewood once more. First difficulties return once more from our customers onwards. For instance, initiating a chainsaw or appropriate preparation. As an illustration, we currently have a Husqvarna 435 model available for demonstration and testing purposes at this specific location. The chain jumped off, no idea, that's how we got it anyway. She probably was not properly stretched. Now let us put them on quickly and efficiently in a sharp manner. Not bad, needs sharpening, I'll show you how it's done. That's correct, you tighten a chain. That is how you can see it. Okay, now I have to find a key in my messy and disorganized place first. That is progressing positively. Okay, let's release the chain brake. That is likely the situation with this one as well. The brake band on these machines is located inside the cover, and it frequently occurs that the chain brake is activated and the lid is forcefully pulled down. If you notice with Husqvarna and the external brake band, the cover is hard to remove, then you have to release the brake first. You can clearly see it here with the line. That's up front now and there's back there. The visibility is good in this location. That means the handle must definitely be in line, so you can take off the lid. If that is not the case, then I am unable to get the lid on properly. I have to really push down in this area and then pull back on the brake lever to ensure a secure fit. It's tough, but then I can get the tape back on. The connection for operation is located here. If the brake band is closed, then I am unable to move it across. I'm able to lower it, but I can never put it back on. Therefore, I have pulled it out slightly at this point, and then I push it back in. Next, I place the chain on top of the rail, ensuring that it is properly positioned, lift it up, and rotate it downwards below as well. Finally, I pull it forward so that it fits securely in the rail. Down here too, and that it turns a bit so that it sits properly in the rear sprocket. Then I'll check in advance if the bolt is roughly in the right position. Then I have to pre-adjust it. Yeah, then we can turn it a bit so that I roughly have the direction. Yeah, fits nicely on. Then I'll tighten the nut here by hand, and then I can adjust it with the tension screw. Additionally, I will ensure that it is securely fastened and aligned, making any necessary tweaks to achieve optimal performance. Once everything is properly set, I can proceed with the final tightening and fine-tuning using the tension screw. Then the chain always has to be tensioned in such a way that it doesn't lift off the rail, can still be pulled by hand, and ideally, you tighten the chain upwards, so you lift the chainsaw because you immediately see that it's getting loose here. That means I put them on here. I could also put something underneath here, or I put them on my hip. I tighten the screw as far as possible until the chain is snug. That's usually enough. With the new chain, I can tighten a bit more. In this case, it's already done. Then tighten. I definitely have to be able to pull it through by hand. The chain must be able to lift off and tighten itself from below. So that's the process I follow when securing the chains. That would be the optimal chain lock. Then it continues. Often, starting in the cold or starting in general is a topic that constantly leads to annoyance because it is not done correctly, and then the machine does not start. And yes, the desired success does not happen, and people get really upset. So, just to make it clear again, there is even an instruction manual here, although some parts may not be completely understandable. That is why I will explain it again. So, the first step with the saw is to pull it back and up for a cold start, only for the choke. Then, with this model, you have a primer, so pump it a few times. This will ensure proper fuel flow and facilitate an easier start. It says 6 times, but I pump until the bladder is filled again, and then I press it 1 or 2 more times. That's enough. If it stands longer, it can also be more than 6 times. If it's like here, where it only stood for 1 or 2 days, because I tried it yesterday, then I only have to press it 1 or 2 times, then it's filled again. So then, as the next point, does that show up? I just need to take a quick look at the camera. Yeah, next item on the list is getting dressed. It simply doesn't indicate the frequency. Just keep going until it gives the tiniest peep. So let me demonstrate that real quick. So you can take them. Usually you need to insert a foot here, but no foot can fit in there. At least not for me with shoe size 46 or 47. None of my shoes can fit in there. Maybe a sneaker, but definitely not a work shoe. That means I always take them here, at the back of the knees, and then I put them on until they make the first noise. Once, twice, now it has already ignited. Then I go over and simply press the lever down once, and the igniter is activated, initiating the process of heating up the device. And do not step on the gas, because then I will take away the half throttle position. So now I am putting on my clothes again. I am putting in the chain brake, and then the chain starts going the right way because it has increased speed. When I press gas, RPM decreases. But it could be that it turns off again. Then I'm not allowed to start with the choke again. Maybe if it's extremely cold, yes, but like now, I put the choke back in and out again. Then I also add some gas, so half throttle, because the machines don't have a button on the side anymore. It's done with the choke, so to speak. Many people don't have that in mind. So let me tell you, you can always do a warm start, in quotes. So put the choke in and out again, but be careful, the chain will start running. Engage the brakes as the vehicle is still operational. I will proceed to showcase its functionality and demonstration purposes. In case she is warm, she should initiate in a similar manner as she did previously, indicating the same behavior and characteristics. Next, we have an additional model. She is also present at this location due to an error made by the operator, also flooded. Since you guys have the same problems with the chain, I showed you how to tighten it until it fits properly. Also clean the chain brake. With this one, the lever is in the down position to disengage and in the up position to engage. First off, it says here to pump it 6 times. So now we're going to pump once, bladder half full. Now it's already filled, so one more time. Sufficient. Please tighten the screw firmly. Pull it for as long as it takes, up to a maximum of 5 times, but really pull it until it makes a noise. Not 5 times, because that can already be too much. Same old story, once, twice, thrice. The object was pulled 3 times, which caused a mess. To rectify the situation, it is advisable to go for a run and push the object. Outcomes. Out. Now it might not start at idle speed as expected. However, it is the identical game, and you also have the option to choke it out and then bring it back in, providing with additional gas. Provide it with a rapid burst of gas and the half throttle position goes away once again. That is, in my opinion, the most significant mistake. That after pulling the choke, or if it has been pulled for too long, it is already half flooded, and then gas is given, leaving me with only the idle position, which ultimately leads to the machine not starting as smoothly. So always just push the choke in after the first kick, don't give any gas, then you'll have the half throttle position. During warm start, pull out choke, put it back in, or here pull out choke, push it up, activate half throttle position, then it starts up perfectly. I can always do that. When in doubt, start with half throttle. If it doesn't start, then you can use the choke, but only if it's completely cold. If I leave it standing for half an hour, it depends on the outside temperature, but then only start with half throttle. If it is flooded, I will demonstrate another special trick, but you really need to exercise caution. The chain brake must definitely be engaged without fail. Start the ignition, apply full throttle. I like to perform this action by placing my elbow in this position, applying full throttle, leaning my upper body on it, ensuring that the quick release chain brake is engaged, and then I can proceed with full throttle in this location. And I can keep going full throttle until she comes. There it can also be, she's making music now, and there I can really go full throttle. When she's warmed up, I can keep going until she starts running. But that's actually to be avoided. If you take the choke out and put it back in, or, as I said, after the first muxer, just push in the choke, then the machines have the half throttle position, and the machines start perfectly fine. As I said, both machines are here because of user errors. They run perfectly fine. The customers didn't notice anything. That's why I'm making this little video here. I hope I could help you. I will lend a hand with that and say goodbye until our next meeting. Take care.